Now, US officials say the last 3 of the 4 objects shot down in the skies over both America and Canada could be benign commercial or research efforts, but there's still little information on the original suspected surveillance balloon. Let's get a quick reminder of what happened. Here we go. The suspected Chinese spy balloon became of concern early this month when it was tracked above the town of Billings in Montana, around 200 miles from a nuclear missile field at Malmstrom Air Force Base. There you go. 4th of Feb, on the instruction from President Joe Biden, a US F-22 fighter jet shot down a suspected Chinese spy balloon off the South Carolina coast. There you go. Last Friday, President Biden ordered a fighter jet to shoot down an unidentified high-altitude object off northern Alaska. Dead horse, love it. Now, the White House said the object was the size of a small car and posed a reasonable threat to civilian aviation. Alaska is home to 9 military bases. On Saturday, Canadian Prime Minister confirmed that a US F-22 jet accompanied by Canadian aircraft shot down an unidentified object over the mountainous and sparsely populated territory of Yukon in the Canadian Northwest, a region which borders the United States. Alaska side. And last Sunday, a US F-16 jet fired a missile and downed another unidentified object over Lake Huron on the US-Canadian border. US authorities say the object flew near sensitive military sites and could have been used for spying. So, what is going on? Spying, flying, or simply keeping an eye on the weather? For more now, joined by author and astronomer David Whitehouse. Hi, it's always great to see you. Thanks for coming in. What's going on?
Well, the first object was definitely a spy balloon.
Yep.
It was obvious from the pictures of it that it was too large to be meteorological. It had large solar panels, large equipment, so that was obviously a spy balloon. And what seems to have happened is that these are fairly small objects, really, in the sky, and they move slowly, and America was not looking for them. And I think that China took advantage of this and of the general American Air Force dismisses UFOs. They took advantage of this gap in their space surveillance of their airspace and were sort of floating these spy platforms in. As you say, it went over American base, and it was probably doing something like intercepting cell phone communications among military personnel and whatever it could suck up from signal intelligence. The other 3 since then seem to be a bit of a mystery because although, as you said, the Americans say they are benign, one of them does seem to be large. One of them does seem to, they said, was octagonal with sort of tethers emerging from it. And it's hard to see how something like that has the propulsion to stay airborne. So they're probably meteorological, scientific platforms, or even spy platforms from another nation that have been taking advantage of this gap in surveillance. But of course, we need the debris from the ground, which is difficult to obtain.
Why do they need to do that? I thought they had stuff in space that they could read number plates from.
They can, and I'm sure that America would be looking at its spy satellites on its own territory to see if it could see these things. But in the past, there have been UFOs, which America has either dismissed as being unimportant, ignored. So they may have sort of fallen under the radar from that, so to speak, although there is a category of UFOs called Tic Tacs, these small ones that were seen by American fighter pilots, which are a genuine mystery. Nobody knows what they are, but they seem to be different from the type of things that's fallen over Canada. So it's an emerging new subject, if you like. Sadly, we're seeing things we haven't seen.
OK, we are out of time, but hopefully you'll come back and talk about them in more detail. Thank you very much indeed. More to come in just a moment. Stay tuned.